when you have dreams, and so many chills, when you have dreams that are this big, you don't start by, okay, I'm going to carve out a lake from an ocean. You take it drop by drop. So that was a powerful message from the Akashic Records. That moment that you heard was a snippet of a real unscripted live client session, a one-on-one intuitive soul session that I did with Julia here. And this episode is one that I've been meaning to bring to the podcast for a very, very long time, which is a behind the scenes look at what do I mean by opening up the Akashic Records and what does it look like to explore your soul contracts and agreements and beliefs that may have been running the show for a very long time. And what is it that your soul truly came here to do or is feeling called to move into in this new season of life? And that's exactly what you'll hear with my guest, Julia, who came in open and curious about her soul contracts that are alive and ready to be rewritten in some cases or rewritten even ancestrally, as you'll hear. We go over soul contracts around money, around job and business, as well as what I think was the most powerful of them all, how to hold the big energy of hopes and dreams and allowing that to come into 3D reality. So, the way to best receive this episode is to find moments that you feel so connected to the story, the narrative, the message that you can relate to, and receive the healing. Perhaps when we do the money belief healing and clearing in this session, take a moment to breathe and receive that for yourself. For we are so much more connected than we realize, and we can receive when we tune in to our deepest, truest parts of ourselves, which is really what I intend for with these kinds of episodes. So, whenever you're ready, you're welcome to take a deep breath and close your eyes and settle into the space you're in by taking a moment to thank ourselves for being here, to acknowledge all the chaos that we just named together, all of the energy, it can all settle down just for this time as we connect deeply to ourselves and connect deeply to all that is beyond us, that serves us, that supports us, walks with us. We thank ourselves and just feeling any tingles or chills that might be appearing across your skin, any sensations within your body. Take a moment to breathe into that and allow for it to spread throughout your body. And if nothing's showing up, that's perfectly okay. Or just taking time now to slow down our mind and slow down the energy and time all around us such that we can deeply receive. And I invite you now to imagine yourself walking on the shore of a beach. The warm sand starts to shift underneath the pressure and weight of your body and almost sends this tingle and sensation of I'm here and I'm grounded and I'm present. And notice yourself walking alongside the seashore as you feel a cool breeze touch upon your skin and hair. You can hear a seagull in the distance. The sun is shining oh so radiantly on and reflecting and mirroring light all across the water on one side. You feel calm, you feel present, you feel oh so settled here. And you take a moment now to turn towards the water at a place and location that feels right for you. And you settle onto the sand beneath you, maybe laying down, maybe sitting cross legged, but taking in the atmosphere all around you. Just The calm of the ocean waves right in front of you, the stillness of the sand all around, and the gentle movement of the breeze, the ocean breeze that comes towards you, moves away from you. There is movement and there is stillness in the space, and you get to receive all of that in this present moment. Taking one more deep breath here to acknowledge the presentness of this time. And I'm feeling the invitation now to, in your mind's eye, turn your head towards the sun, allowing for it to warm your skin, allowing the sun to melt away any worries or stressors, any chaos, any tension. Let it all dissolve, just like candle wax dripping down. The energy shifts from your mind and body and pools all around you on the sand, where it's just slips through the many grains of sand and goes deep down into the core of the earth, where the earth knows to transmute and hold this energy. And she sends so much love up, 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 all the way through the many layers of the earth. And it just feels like the sand is beginning to glow with golden light. It shimmers and shines, maybe even shifting the color of the water in some way. But feeling that golden light from the sand bathe every cell in your body with so much healing light that you feel so grounded and so connected. Where we get to be a channel, we get to be a connection point from deep within the earth all the way up to the sky and the sun beyond. And we acknowledge this feeling, this remembrance within. And thank you for receiving that. As you continue to feel that feeling, enjoy the sensations of calm and peace, and acknowledging anything else that might be coming up through you and for you. I'll take a moment to say the Akashic Record prayer here. Of the light we see all around us, trust that you can connect deeply within, trust that you can connect deeply throughout, and trust that you can connect deeply above and below. This is the path to connect to the space above, the ground below, and all the energy and beings that you channel through at this time. This is the way, this is the space, this is the energy that you feel. Trust and connect and let it all be revealed. Set aside yourself, set aside your doubts, set aside any concern. Let yourself feel the energy of unconditional love. This is the magic, this is the beauty, this is the essence of the records. Trust that you are within them, part of them, one with them, now and always and forevermore. Say this prayer and all will be revealed, past, now, and all future possibilities. Say this prayer, say these words, and trust that you are delivered to the doorstep to love, deep connection of knowing and understanding who you truly are. This is the space. Welcome. The Akashic Records are now open. And just taking a moment, whether your eyes are closed or open, to really attune to this space, the space of so much knowledge and understanding about yourself, of many past lives, many intentions for this life and future lives. It's all captured and recorded here. All your feelings, thoughts, experiences are all here for you to receive. It's a record for you to come back to again and again. And we come back to it with so much intention to explore and understand whatever it is that you need to receive today based on the intentions you set. You're welcome to set those intentions again in your heart as I tune into the energy here as well and see what wishes to come through. All right. Okay. So, just actually wanted to take a moment if there's anything from the meditation or anything that came through that you wanted to remember, receive? Let me start there before I share what's coming up.
Um, I felt like really tingly in the top of my head and like through my neck. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
there was a lot of tingles there. Like it was extra,
Hmm.
so I felt like naming that. Yeah. Okay, so I feel like I'm starting to see a visual. So let me see what they want to say about it. I can almost hear like a guide, if you will, like walking.
Hmm.
Um, but let's see. Like, are these doors? Yeah, these are doors. And I see one. Okay. This does feel like the energy of when I do soul contract work, what's coming up. And I know that was an intention you set, so I guess we are here. I see three
Hmm.
doors, and they're usually like um different topics or areas or contracts to revisit. So if you're open to it, we can explore them one by one. Does that feel good?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Take a sip of water and we'll keep going. All right. So we'll see in which order they want to do this, but I keep looking to my left because it's a door on my left that I feel called to explore. Okay. And so, all right, help me understand what Julia needs to see or recognize or appreciate about the soul contract that we're revisiting. Okay. Um, are we going to say visual? Oh, it's going to be more through words. All right. Um, okay. So the first contract it looks like we're going to explore is around money. Um, so yeah, they're not showing it to me, but they want to talk about it. So what do we want to understand? Are we going to see a soul contract? Oh, I'm getting a lot of chills. All right, yes. Um, okay, and so through this, it, it's like a dark room with, and when I say doors, they look more like caves almost, really, to describe it. And I felt like a scroll or document showed up through one. It feels like we're going to review the language. But I just want to check, do we need to name anything before we start reviewing it? No, we're just going to look at it. All right. Um, okay, so if you feel open to the topic of money as a soul
Hmm.
contract to explore, I'm hearing certain words. Let me see how they want me to start to talk through it. There's a big agreement, and how do I say? It's not just the word agreement. Um, wow, so many words. Can we slow this down such that the biggest term I keep hearing around it all is you tell me how this lands. I'll let them complete before you respond. But they say the word hardship, like money needs to feel like it requires this effort in order to receive. But they keep using the term hardship. And I'm going to investigate a bit more with them if that's purely from this lifetime, if it's longer. But they want to acknowledge like there is this unsaid belief that it takes effort and it must be hard and it takes work in order to make money and have money and earn money in all the ways. Like in all ways, money is not this easy thing that just flows and they're showing me almost this waterfall. It's like I have to scrounge and like I kind of dig to find money and get money is almost the quality, then money just pours onto me. How does that land for you before I keep going then?
Um, I think that's kind of a realization that I had within the last few days is like, well, with the job loss that I had, it was um a big panic because I was making really good money with that job.
Right.
And then it has been hard over the last few months, just trying to feel like I'm catching up. And then my husband, he's trying to get his own business off the ground, and I'm seeing him work really hard at it. And I've had feelings of like realizing that it's a limiting belief that I have, like, um, that businesses that you start on your own are going to take a lot of hard work to be successful instead of
Mm,
just like letting it happen and have success. And I've tried to like, it's, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but like tried
mm.
to damper expectations
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm like, we can't count on that money
Right,
until
right.
it's there. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
completely get that. Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, okay, so let's understand why they're bringing this up right now. Because the way this generally works is if we're reviewing a soul contract, there are probably key elements that you're ready to revisit. And it therefore makes sense that you've been thinking about it. And here it is, like this segment of it, if you will.
Hmm.
So let me ask them, what is it that you're ready to decree or change or update? Um, when it comes to hardship and its connection or relation to money, okay, so they're talking, I'm going to just let them through. They're saying how, like, you're no longer available and like this is no longer a thing even in your existence. Like, I feel like your higher self is almost talking through it all and saying, like, that was then, this is now, we're no longer available for this to be so, so hard. Um, I think there's a deep sense of acknowledgement that, okay, there will be times where you need to work in order to make money. There are times where money just shows up like in your lap magically,
Hmm.
inheritance or a lottery. Like we have so many examples of these coming into our lives or in someone's life that is real. Um, but also when things can be so aligned across every part of ourselves, like we're so clear, we're so committed to doing something, and especially from this place of deep love, that like that's a frequency and a vibration. I just want to acknowledge they're getting into a very teachy mode, so I'll come through and then we can come back to the contract itself. But they're acknowledging how when you come from this place of love like that creates a resonance and people just want to have a part of that. Like this is what they pay for. They give this energy. It is an energy exchange and it represents that they want something. And I feel like they're very much talking. Now this is beyond your higher self, but all the energy is present here talking, even in the context of your husband's business that you named. I get this feeling of it comes from this place of deep love and I really want to do this and this is really important to me. And to trust that and allow that and to like you get to be this almost container of hope
Hmm.
and trust with him. I don't know, I have this almost bowl like feeling around it.
Hmm.
And like that's your only job. Like you don't have to worry about the rest. The rest is almost his sole contract to figure out with his clients and customers, is what I feel. But you're
Hmm.
really here to help hold the hope and trust. Um, and not to let past baggage or things didn't work out at some point in whatever context they may be. They're giving me the sense of like, we all have difficult stories around money, either our own or our ancestors. And I'm getting the sense of like many ancestors before, and we tend to carry that. It's in our DNA for so, so long. And it can be as easy as an internal decision, an inner decision to say, no more. I'm no longer available to do things in that way. Sometimes they may come up, but my decision is I'm clear that I can experience money in a different way. And there's so many people who have that kind of experience on this planet, is what I'm hearing. People just flow and float in money. Like it's not a thing that they worry about. It's not this thing that they think they have to excavate the ground in order to find this gem or jewel or gold. It's just there. It just is. And it comes from trusting that energy flow and energy exchange within you and around you and with the world all around you. And I think they slowed down, so I can slow down with them. Let me know how that all is landing.
Yeah, I think me having that realization, especially with his business and like relating it to my side business as well, because that's like a fear that I've had as well. I think that lands pretty well
Hmm.
with like I am ready to have a different set of beliefs around money because it's exhausting for
Yeah,
sure.
For sure. Yeah. Like I get this feeling now. It's almost like if you're open to it, Julia, like to
Hmm.
close your eyes just for a few minutes doesn't feel long. Um, to imagine this a feather duster is really the visual that I'm getting, and it's just dusting, especially your crown, but all your energy centers and all aspects of you. And just, you can be playful with the imagery, like let it dust your shoulders and all the way down. But what it's really doing is something we can all receive as we're tuning in is this clearing and this debris that we no longer need of outdated beliefs around money. We no longer need to believe that money requires all this hard work and sacrifice and suffering. We no longer need to believe that money is scarce and money is hard. And instead, we get to believe that money can be fun and easy to receive. And money can come from places where we love doing what we are doing and get to rest and play and also receive money. It doesn't have to come from, the equation doesn't have to be only when I do this much effort, only then can I receive that much money. It no longer needs to be that way. And so you get to install these new beliefs within you. And I feeling a lot of energy and even seeing like a quill on the scroll start to write some new beliefs around money and just feeling the space open. Julia, if you want to name, like, what is a new belief, an updated belief that you're ready to affirm to yourself and all those in your life around money? Feel free to voice that aloud now as well.
I believe that I can make money effortlessly and easily when I'm in alignment with myself and in the space of love.
Yeah. And I'm seeing that like quill right away and it put a full stop as you were done. Like, and that is complete there within the money contract. And take a moment to really feel that in your body, because that's the sensation of reassurance and to really let it settle that this is safe and we can allow for this belief to travel through time and space to future versions of you and even update past versions of you. I'm also feeling the nudge to call in um, all of your ancestors if they're open to, who are also willing to have this belief be updated. They are in so many ways also resourcing you and are willing to have this belief be updated amongst themselves as well. Yeah, I just felt a whole collective show up and cheer you on.
Yeah, me too.
That's lovely. I love that.
Hmm.
Doesn't always necessarily happen in soul contract work, but it's really lovely when it does. Um, okay, and I think with that, I was going to check if there was more here, but I felt the scroll like kind of whoop, it rolled up and it's like,
Hmm.
all right, we're ready and complete. Um, how did that all feel? I want to make sure you have time to settle physically with that before we move on to the next soul contract.
It felt really nice and overwhelming, and like I did feel like a whole collective show up, and it kind of made me like a little
Hmm.
bit, but in the
I-
best way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think we can all use update around money beliefs ancestrally too. So thank you for that.
Hmm.
Um, okay. I think with that, I feel like we're ready to move to what looks to me as the middle hallway door cave. I don't know how to describe this, but we'll see what wants to come through.
Yeah.
Um, okay, let me see. Take a sip of water and see what topic or aspect of yours, Julia, that we want to revisit a soul contract around. Okay, I heard immediately job. So if you're ready to go there, we'll
Yeah.
go there. Yeah. The scroll feels much. longer. Like the other one, I felt like we zoomed in very quickly. This I could
Hmm.
feel and hear the paper. Um, all right, so where do we want to go and focus within this soul contract around job and jobs? Actually, I immediately first got a lot of cheering and clapping that I feel like your guides, you can name that with whatever you call your unseen power, but I heard a lot of cheering and clapping, like, oh, like, um, it feels like you've come so far with what you want from a job and really trusting what you deserve in a job. And I'm feeling a lot of acknowledgement for because of that, you've been open to receive what you have right now. And I feel that like take a moment to receive that in your heart. Like it feels really good to me. Like I feel like
Hmm.
a lot of love, a lot of cheering on, a lot of healing also is what's coming through that has happened in the last many months. It's been longer. I wanted to say 6 months, but it feels longer. Um,
Hmm.
it feels like a deep, like I had to go in. They keep using this word excavate, but it's much more inner and like really understand who you are, what you want to do, what's right for you. Um, it feels very important to acknowledge that and celebrate that because there's been a lot of chasing and hunting and debating and doubting. There's been a lot of that for many months, and oh, I'm covered in so many chills. Like now, like you get to receive and you get to celebrate and you get to like take all that you plugged in that felt like inner holes almost and like, okay, I'm okay now. And
Hmm.
it's less about the like practical job aspect and more about how you feel internally about being in relation to a job even.
Hmm.
Um, how does it all land for you?
Yeah, I think that's right because with my previous job that I lost, it was a lot of compromising like things that I actually really wanted to have in a job. And, I worked through it and I was working hard and I thought I was going to move up in that world. But even if I had moved up, it could have been more closely aligned to what I wanted,
Hmm.
but it probably would have been muddled in politics and stuff like that. And with this new position, I get to work a lot of time really independently,
Mm.
and the team that I have is really supportive. Well, I'm not even managing people, which is another thing that I never, it's been a struggle for me managing others, so I don't have to do that now. And a lot of what it is really like a relief for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a
And
lot.
I'm like mostly remote too, so I get to have a lot more of my free time not
Mm.
consumed by travel, um,
Yes,
which I think is helping me take care of myself better.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I want to acknowledge all that you name. Like it felt like, oh, that could be good if I moved up, but it would have brought all of this pressure, is almost how it sounded like. And
Hmm.
this new role feels like it opens up so much more for more of you.
Hmm.
Yeah. I had a lot of chills
Yes.
down my back, which feels like it feels very supportive. Um, and I actually feel the top part of the soul contract glowing. Um, like you can make so much happen from this space. I'll see if they want to go back to anything historical job wise, but they keep focusing on this, and this top section is glowing mostly because things are, it feels like you can write so much more. Like things are unwritten and you can write so much more in. Like, oh, do I want this job to give me this kind of space to also play and work in my business? And like I feel like there's just a lot of flexible energy here. I feel like dancing with it almost as I'm feeling it move through me. So you
Hmm.
get to decide like, oh, I want to spend this much of my time doing this. And now that I've freed up time from travel and you had named not managing people, like it, I feel like there's just blocks of time, but also mental capacity and to use that. Like you can almost like, my job is not just this job, but it's this enabler of so much more, and I can write all of that.
Hmm.
Um, and as I'm saying that, I just want to check once, are we just focused on the scroll really as a job or job plus business? Oh, actually, it is more than that. Okay, I got a big yes. So we can talk about the two together here too.
Hmm.
Yeah. Were you about to say something? I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, no,
Okay,
sorry. Yeah.
right. Let's see where they want to go from here. I keep feeling this nudge to think about, and we can use some time right now to think about what do you want to inscribe in each of these blocks. And I'll try and explain. Like, do you get
Hmm.
to label the blocks or are they defining it? I'm not sure yet. They just seem to, what showed up as one big glowing rectangle now looks like there's a pink one and there's a blue one. It's like color coded.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. Hang on. Okay, so do you have intentions like, do these blocks represent specific things? Okay. Hmm. I'm hearing how like your job is so multifactorial now, like it's got all these different aspects to it, and it's not just time, it's really energy. And so I think they want to go block by block and have you reflect on what is it that you want to have in place through this job, because it feels like it's an early like point in time with this job. I almost heard the word like putty, like we can shape it and we can mold it and we can work with the energy and we can set powerful intentions and that can carry forward. And lots of chills as I say that. So I think the first thing I heard is what purpose do you want this job to fulfill for you? Like to contain that, and what would you say? Is it to make money? Is it to fulfill? I'm just asking them, do they have prompts here? Not really. Like, you've got this. Okay.
Um, so I want this job to be a source of stability for me. And I think that's both financially, like, because I have obviously found that that's incredibly important to me. Like, when I didn't have a job, it was terrifying. So just a source of stability. And I do want it to be long term and something that I can grow within, but also maybe take an offshoot. Because that could, I think it's just allowing me also to have freedom in the direction that I want to move my life as
Mm,
well. Because there are people who work in other states, so I could move if I want to. I can,
okay.
be fully remote in that case. And also just like you said, freeing up mental capacity. So freedom to have more choice in my path forward and
Hmm.
have that stability.
I like that. Yeah, I heard stability, but I heard a lot of freedom and maybe even optionality. Like, felt like all these
Hmm.
free branches that can go in so many directions as you were
Yeah.
talking. Um, yeah, and I can hear the quill start to write, like, oh, I'd love for this job to help create both that stability in terms of money, but also to give me freedom and options in the future so I can go in whichever direction I'd like to go. Um, and feel free to add to that, is what I'm hearing. Like, this was my encapsulation, but really they're saying, like, you're writing what's in here. And you get to
Hmm.
even rewrite it at some point. They're like 3 to 6 months from now, you're like, I really want to move to this state. And you can come back and revisit just through a quick journaling or intention setting process, is what I'm hearing. Like it's just as easy as that. Now you're just getting to open up the whole thing as
Hmm.
a ritual. So I'm just hearing that um, voiceover from the guides, if you will. But if there's anything else you want to inscribe here around the purpose of this job, um, otherwise we can move to the next block, whatever that means.
I think too, just having more enjoyment in the work that I do.
Mm.
Um, I get to meet with different business owners, and I do enjoy talking to people about what they do and seeing their passions. And then I also get to be really analytical with data and problem solve and figure things out. So have a little bit more enjoyment there, I guess, as well.
Makes sense. In fact, the whole time this square, it's like a rectangle and a rectangle, um, has been pink in color. Like pink feels very
Hmm.
loving energy, and I've been wondering what that was about. So when you said that, that felt really true and right. And I'm hearing just a reassurance from your guides to like really receive that. There's a lot of love that you get to receive from these people because they receive your help and they appreciate it. I'm covered in chills as I
Hmm.
say that. And that is a big part of the energy exchange. It goes hand in hand with the money, but for you deeply internally, it goes also beyond that. Like this is something that's really important for you.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
perfect.
I love that. All right. I feel like we're ready to move one box below then. Um, and this like the earlier one was pink, but this one has like a teal, blue, green, depending on when I look at it, the color keeps shifting a bit. Um, I think this job has like this is the place where you can inscribe um like how much you want to receive and like how much more can you grow through this job financially. It's not clear to me now if it's like a function of business owners you work with or more, but you can set intentions on how much more you want to grow financially through this job as well. And some language around that. Like I'd love to be 1.5x, 2x, like something on those lines. This is a good time to see how do you want to be 6 months from now, a year from now with this job financially too.
Hmm. Hmm. I think a year from now, if I could be at least 1.5x, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just checking how yeah, I'm getting a lot of yeses for like set that intention and can you reinforce that intention is what I'm checking. Because what I'm careful about with soul contract work, it can feel very powerful in the moment when you do this and you
Hmm.
feel like elated and excited. And then, like any high, you experience a dip after. And then, how do you come back to that? Oh, yeah, I set those intentions. I decided that, and I will come back to
Hmm.
that belief almost.
Hmm.
When, real world happens and things feel shaky. So I'm therefore asking the question for you specifically on this. Um, it's almost like they said like have a monthly goal, but not a goal as in a number, but having a monthly hmm, okay, they're saying multiple things. Let me see if I can parse it out. One is to
Hmm.
come back to the intention monthly and say, okay, yes, like I'm I'm determined to grow within this job, not in a way that creates more pressure and anxiety, but in a way that feels like I'm doing good work and therefore I will receive the reward, the energy exchange. And I kept feeling like in this monthly almost touch point with yourself, really, it feels like you write this intention. I have this 1.5x actually at the top of the page. And then I feel like you are capturing, it could be a document, even though I feel like I'm using my hand here. Um, like here's all the benefits and outcomes that you drove in the past month. Like you did XYZ for this person and you did ABC for this person. It feels like this is what will really justify it logically for you and for your management, is what I'm feeling. A lot of chills down my hands and arms as I'm saying that. But it'll feel very congruent to all parts of you when you put that together and say, therefore, it makes sense. And you'll ask for it. I'm covered in chills now through my body. I
Hmm.
can really create this integration. Otherwise, there could be this doubting voice that says, oh, yes, like I can ask for it, or I can bring it up, but have I done enough? And the doubts will start coming in. But if you create this document, they're saying it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a few
Hmm.
lines. You can keep pasting into it as you have a good meeting or deliver something. Just capture those lines there, and the
Hmm.
energy will build. Like energy will build in all the ways towards that goal. And
Hmm.
I'm even hearing like you might feel like, oh, I can actually say 1.5 to 2x. Like it will build
Hmm.
confidence because you have that evidence, but you've also been building belief each month by doing the practice.
Hmm. I like that idea. That sounds awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels very practical to me too. And
Yeah.
not just my corporate brain a bit. Like, oh yeah, I could see that.
Right. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Um, I'm also hearing, if you're open to it, a bit of a overview that like your management and the people you work with, you didn't talk too much about this, but they're saying like they see you, like they recognize you, and they're willing to hear what it is that you're doing and your ideas, and they value all of that, the work you're doing. I get this feeling like there'll also be ideas you'll have for them that will help them improve more collectively, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
It could
Yeah.
be process, it could be, oh, this worked for this customer, we should be doing this in this way. Like you make those recommendations.
Hmm.
Um, it almost feels like now there's a new tab and you capture all of this in too, because it's not just the one-on-one customers and people you work with, but there's something that you're influencing that shapes
Hmm.
the umbrella almost, if you will.
Hmm. Interesting. I'll
Yeah.
keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. I just feel like there will be sparks. There's like, oh, I
Hmm.
did something with the customer. It leads to something. I like it could be process, it could be more. They're not giving me too many specifics just yet. But I think there is this sense I'm getting of like you will know, oh, that was really good. And you will take that
Hmm.
nugget and surface that and use it to
Okay.
build an idea.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they keep saying it doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be hard. You're approaching this in a very different way, and you're approaching it with big intentions that you already set around like how you receive money and how you work with money. And so this in the same way as how do you relate to this job as
Hmm.
well. So ooh, okay. I think with those chills, I feel like we're ready to shift to like we worked on this block, and I'm now here. So it's like bottom left for me as I'm looking at it.
Hmm.
Um, Okay, this is not what I would have expected, but this blog is all about how do you want this job to feel for you? Like,
Hmm.
what's the feeling? Because again, thinking of it as this entity you have a relationship with, how do you want that connection to be? Now is the time to pre-negotiate. Like, you want the job to do this, and don't bug me or bother me at these points. Like I'm hearing, almost like very prenup style. Sorry, this is not the way to talk about the theme, but here we are.
Hmm. It's funny.
Yeah.
Mm. I think I want it to feel like um like they trust me and they're ready for me to just take the ball and get rolling and um
Mm.
yeah, I think I just want to feel like I'm trusted to do my job and not have, and I don't think it will be, but like not be micromanaged, but to allow me to like set my schedule and get my work done and not have to be babysat.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I really like the word trust. Like those are even my own intentions around my day job, if you will. So I
Hmm.
personally resonated when you said that. Um, but I understand also what you're saying. Like it sounds like even the thread you said about freedom earlier, it's here
Hmm.
too, where I don't want to be babysat. Like trust me.
Hmm.
Um, so let me see how they want to capture this, or I actually feel like I'm feeling the energy of the job a bit. So give me a moment while I tune into that.
Hmm.
So I got this nudge maybe a little bit ago. It's back again now. Something that you can do is even pull up the HD and even Astro chart. I feel like you work with both for your job based on your start day and time, and really to
Mm,
appreciate the energy of what it brings. Because I had this, like, there was almost a quality of the job, and it had like this zippy energy to it. I don't know how else to explain.
yeah.
And, and I it's like, oh, like you get to almost build intimacy and an understanding of the energy of this job, and you get to appreciate it from your lens because it actually feels similar to you in many ways. Like
Hmm.
knowing your chart, which is very similar to mine, like
Right.
as we've talked about before, this it has this manifesting generator quality of like zip zip move between different projects. I'm hearing it's such a good match for you and your skills and what you enjoy doing and what lights you up, because I get this feeling
Hmm.
you get to zip between different projects and people is the feeling I'm getting. um
Yeah.
Chills. Okay. um so I think the invitation, the caution with this is because it's so zippy and you can zip around with it, like you need times where the energy can be calmer and like we go slow and we don't have to rush. And just because some customer, client, whoever is knocking on a door, like it can wait. Like what they might
Hmm.
feel is an emergency, like we need to talk soon, can
Hmm.
be like, okay, but I will show up as the best version of myself if I wait a few days and like push this a few days out and then we talk.
Hmm.
And to not let the zippy energy, the fast moving energy of this like overpower or overtake that. Like it's just as important to find moments to clear and ground and just like it's okay. We don't have to zip all the
Hmm.
time, which feels like it's a little hard for the energy of this job, is what I'm getting a sense of. And to
Hmm.
pay attention to that when it's, yeah, overtaking you in some ways.
Hmm.
I don't know if that feels true just yet or to be determined, but
Right now I'm doing a lot of training still because it's an industry that I've not been
okay.
in at all before. So, but the nature of the job is such that like you're working, it's an insurance auditor job. So you're visiting with clients at their workspace
Uh,
um, for a few days during the week. So you probably are doing, 5 or 6 audits a week, and then you have time to process through those. And so, yes, it does feel like it can be a very zippy job for sure. So,
yeah. Okay. I I'm just checking how what else is important for you to take away around the energy of this job, and I'm tracking time so we can definitely make sure to get to all these blocks. And then
mhm,
also the third contract that also appeared. I don't know anything more yet. Just
mhm,
reassuring if you're like worried about that. Um, so okay. I think that was the most important thing the energy of this job wanted you to be aware of. And that, okay, so the guys are saying how trust is very important for you in this job and freedom is very important for you in this job. This is my condensing of the many words you said. And I feel like that all starts with building that connection with the energy of this job, meaning you trust when the energy like moves and it spikes, or oh, the job is taking to you a certain client, you're like, I'm not really able to gel with them, or they're feeling hard to work with, and it's only for a certain week, is what I'm hearing. But to like, this is where you build trust, is not by, okay, this sounds very much like talking about a relationship, but you don't get just angry with it and say like, you're doing a bad job, and like, okay, I
mhm,
quit, or like lose trust. Like trust is just like in a relationship, you trust that even if there's a week that feels off, a client that feels off, like how would you come back to trusting the job itself? And I think they're saying it goes so much hand in hand with freedom in this job that, okay, I can requests like maybe I don't want to work with this client. And I'm saying all of this as this feels like a scenario and not like foretelling or forecasting, just to help you
Hmm.
practice working with the energy of this job because it feels very different from what you have done before, is what I'm hearing. Like to work in this way and to work in these sports almost and work with different people, like the rhythm feels different to me as they're telling it
Hmm.
versus what you've done before. And so, because of that rhythm feeling different, it may feel like, oh, wait, this feels odd, or oh, like what felt like a lot of promise of openness and freedom is starting to feel constricting because it's just like your body is still catching up to it, is what I'm hearing. It's a new
Hmm.
practice and it's a new muscle. And so, how can you stay in relationship? How can you stay in trust? I feel like they're actually asking you this question to reflect on right now so that we can think about this block of how do you want to feel with this job?
Hmm. Um, I think when I think of like leaning into trust, it's like taking a deep breath and knowing that there's a reason for it and
Mm,
it works out how it's meant to work out. And it's always going to work out okay.
yeah, I love I think as you said that, I again saw this kind of zippy energy of the job, and to say like nothing's very permanent in this job because of the way the job works. And so to trust that it's going to zip
Hmm.
away quickly enough. And if you need it to zip away faster, you can always ask for help or redirection from people.
Hmm.
But the zippiness is a good thing, is what I feel, because it like feels intense for a bit, and then there's a gap, and then it feels intense for a bit, and actually, I think that gap is where we might go to next. But let me make sure that the guides feel like, yeah, they feel good about what you had just said in relation to your job. Like, this is what you do to come back
Hmm.
to trust. Is there anything else that you feel like you want to inscribe as intentions on how you want to feel within this job and with this job?
I think that I want to be able to have it like flow with the energy that I'm feeling at the moment. So like when I
Mm,
am feeling like more outgoing and stuff, then I can schedule my meetings with clients. And then when I need that time to just have solo work time and get in the flow, have that
right.
all align with how I'm feeling, I guess.
Yeah. So let's take a moment, and you're welcome to just imagine this with me too, like you're inscribing those intentions in here, because it feels to me, as you were saying, like there's a lot of flexibility around that. Um, and you don't have to take on pressure. Like people will always feel pressure in different ways. You don't have to take that on. So feel free to inscribe that. I'm feeling a lot of chills as you're doing so within this block of how you want to feel with this job. Okay. All right. And I think with that, we'll go to this last block, which feels like it's all about how your job will work with your business and business intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm hearing the question of you saying, like, how do you want it to work with your business? And the nudge I'll offer, that when we were talking about this energy of the job zipping around, like I felt like at the nodes, you're busy working on something with the client, but there's also gaps in between, and there will be
Mm.
space for you
Mm-hmm.
to focus on your business too. And so you get to mold and shape that. Like, what do you want to do with those gaps? How do you want it
Mm-hmm.
to show up in your week? Maybe that's a little early to say, but if it's a Friday afternoon or some time on the weekend, like you can state those intentions now, be it
Mm-hmm.
time, be it the kind of work, yeah, being the lack of pressure or anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think just having the space and time to even take a few minutes to work on those pieces of my business that have been put to the side because of feeling busy with all of these other things. So having those little breaks to even just come back and set my intention to do work later, like come up with a plan on how I want to work on my business for the weekend. I think that
Mm,
would be nice. Yeah.
yeah, I really like that. I immediately saw a visual of you. You have some kind of feels like a sacred space almost somewhere in your corner of a desk. And it feels like this, oh, I come back here and it's got, there's a soft light. It could be a crystal. I can't tell you all the pieces on it, but there's almost like a little, I don't know if you're very digital or analog in how you track your things, but I felt like there's paper like, oh, when I get time for my business, I'm going to do X, and you write it down. And I feel
Hmm.
like that sheet is like no more than 3 or 4, I heard, but it's the intention that you set, and you're going to keep coming back to it. It doesn't
Hmm.
have to be analog. That's just the, I guess, the way they wanted to visualize it for me to translate.
Hmm. Yeah, I like that idea.
Okay. I think now is a good time. They feel very speedy with this one. They're like, yeah, then that was it. Um, if you want to inscribe now those intentions around your job and business, and um, I think an important thing that they've been naming between these last two blocks, so I'll name it here, is the most important thing that helps you feel in a trusting connection with your job as well as having space for your business is to not take on pressure as it may appear from clients. I know they said this before, but they keep reiterating it. I have this nudge to talk about. I'd kept your charts handy if they did decide to go there, but to talk about like open root and head. And again, I can understand this as someone who also feels
Hmm.
this a lot. Um, just because someone says something is urgent and something needs to be done right away, to really find a way to create some distance and check, like, okay, is that important enough that I need to rush right away? Or can I take a beat or maybe take a breath and then take 15 minutes and then respond? And I get this feeling like this is going to be the practice, is like not to rush right away, because in some ways that can feel good and it can reinforce, I think, like some old mental models, and I feel rewarded because I did it and I responded right away. And you can create
Hmm.
separation, which again they come back to, you will show up as a much better person and things will flow so much more easily and with less effort if you take that pause. And it doesn't feel like it's long. It's like, oh, urgent message came, and it's like I went and made a cup of tea or coffee and then I walked up or wherever
Hmm.
you are. And it feels like that. And now I'm going to respond. I don't have to
Hmm.
respond to it right away.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. All right. Um, I'm receiving that message personally too, because this is something I could use. So thank you for
Yes.
creating the space for this message. Yeah, it definitely sometimes have to always work on keeping myself separate, but this was like, thank you.
Hmm.
All right. So I think with that, Um, if there are any intentions you want to have for the rest of the year, that's how they're saying, related to your business plus your job, how they can work with each other, like feel free to do that right now. You can say it aloud, but it's more important to just feel it in your body and say, like, yeah, these two can coexist. They can work with each other, help each other with each other. I have lots of energy, so saying is hard, but just to
Yeah.
allow for that energy to come through when you set the intention. Right. But then how complete do you feel with the whole job plus some business all here in this contract?
It feels good. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Because I feel like they feel complete too. Like this felt like the
Hmm.
almost the jigsaw pieces all coming together. And I did
Hmm.
check on is there anything else we need to review from before? And I got to know around that. It feels like you've actually worked through a lot, is the feeling I get. So yeah, thank you for
Hmm.
doing that. We don't have to go anywhere else here. So I feel like the scroll is rolling up and going back where it came from. Okay, so if you're ready, we can take a deep breath and get to the
Hmm.
last scroll that wants to be reviewed in terms of a soul contract. Hmm. Okay, and what does this want to speak to or be around? This is an interesting scroll. Like it actually came through and opened up and had somewhat of a visual to it. I was like, but you didn't even announce yourself. So, but it said a scroll and a soul contract of future hopes and dreams. It is interesting.
Hmm.
Um, okay. If you feel open to exploring that, we will go through.
Yeah.
The visual that I saw immediately had, it's like if I were looking at a golden scroll, but there was something watery in it, like as if there was a picture or painting of, I don't know if it's a lake or an ocean, some large water body.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. I'm going to sit with, I don't even think I pulled up a soul contract on this topic. So this will be interesting to see how they frame this.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. So I'm seeing around that ocean visual that I got, like, oceans are so vast and so deep. And in the same way, I feel like your hopes and dreams are so vast and so deep and so big. It's really that same quality. Um, and I get the same, at the same time, I'm hearing how because it has this quality of water, it feels one, it's so big. Like, how do you wrap your arms and hands and everything around it? And because it's not something you can hold, it feels like it slips through your fingers almost.
Hmm.
And so, um, like as much as there's a lot of beauty and there's like awe almost like, oh my God, I have these big goals and dreams and desires and hopes. They're all there. It feels hard. It doesn't feel tangible and something you can really grab onto and bring into reality. Like they sit in this ocean. Is or the message I'm getting as I'm reading and watching the scene, if you will. Let me see how that feels to you as I'm seeing all that.
Yeah. I think that there's always this like big plan that's out there that I would like, but getting there is the hard part. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to acknowledge, like, as much as I think we're so powerful as human beings and energetic beings that can dream so much. And then there's also like a reality of, we have to pay bills and, jobs are still like a needed thing in the Western world we live in. And I'm saying this as someone who has definitely had a lot of feelings and thoughts around this topic and made
Hmm.
my peace with it. Um, I'm curious why your guides are bringing this up in this way. Like, if there is, like, how can you relate to this more? And I'm actually starting to hear them say, so that's why I smiled. They're seeing how we get how it feels almost impossible at times to bring these dreams into reality that can feel so big. And so, how do I break this down? Where do I start? I've tried it in so many different ways, but it doesn't feel like I'm succeeding. And therefore, I have to do the same old boring thing, is what they're saying. And, but what they said right after that was like, you get to approach it drop by drop. When you have dreams, and so many chills, when you have dreams that are this big, you don't start by, okay, I'm going to carve out a lake from an ocean. You take it drop by drop. And I'm sitting with how they want to explain that. And 3D practical reality also.
Mhm.
Um, just because you have a beautiful dream and it doesn't feel like you can realize it in current day reality doesn't mean that the dream doesn't exist or doesn't have potentiality. Like the fact that you feel it and see it and understand it means that the potential exists. You're really the conduit to make it a reality. But um, okay, so now see if I can explain this. I can see the drops, and it's almost like a pipette or a really thin pipe that's
Mhm.
like allowing the drops to come through. Like you get to be the conduit and the channel for that. And they're saying um, it's okay if in certain seasons, like the dream seems to be coming in drop by drop. And those drop by drop moments may just be like flashes of inspiration or, oh, I wrote an idea down. Oh, I like designs, like I doodled on paper and I thought of something. Or I had a conversation with someone and it like lit me up because I got to talk about something related to this dream.
Mhm.
I'm actually feeling like you're probably doing this a lot with your husband, is the flash I got as I was saying all this. Because in many ways,
Mhm.
you're holding the energy of his dream and hopes and vision right now in many ways. Um, and in some ways, that may also be bringing up the same energy of, oh, I have hopes, dreams, and visions for what I could do as a career, as who I am, to be paid for who I am as a person in this reality, is what I'm hearing. And to
Mhm.
not stifle that and to not squish that just because it doesn't feel like it can happen right now today. But they're saying how when you allow it in bit by bit, drop by drop, like water has a force. It's just like, it carves a path wherever it exists. And in the same way, the drops can coalesce and start to become a more continuous flow. And if you allow the drip by drip to keep coming through, it feels like, to me, my sense as I've been talking is this dream feels very attached to what you can do through your business, but it also feels attached to what you can do through having more money and stability, which may also come through a job, which may also come through a husband. Like it can just come through, maybe you're in a different location. It doesn't feel isolated, is what I feel like. It feels like a bigger dream and vision for who you are and who you get to be in the future. And you may feel that and have time for that, like on a weekend, a certain week in a month. Like that's what the drips and the drops feel like right now.
Mhm.
But to their biggest encouragement right now is to hold this energy of possibility. Like that's what it is. Like, can you hold the energy of possibility even when it doesn't seem real right now? Can you hold the
Mhm.
energy of possibility such that this dream could become a reality sometime in the future? You don't know when, you don't know how. That's part of the fun and magic of being a human is you get to experience and try and see how it all comes together. But
Mhm.
at the same time, to trust that all of those add up because it's all of those drops that eventually are coming into 3D reality. And maybe it shows up even as a job today that you may or may not like, but it is part of the puzzle that is becoming this. I almost feel like the ocean is here and it's kind of pouring into this side, but it doesn't even look like an ocean yet. It looks like a tiny puddle. And so you're almost
Mhm.
like, okay, I don't know. Did I really give it much weightage? Yeah. It feels like that. Like you're almost skeptical is the feeling I get
Mhm.
because it's so small. And it's like, yeah, but suddenly one day, like a whole flood could come through because you have the space or time or you're open to it or the right person shows up or something happens and it's like, oh, the wave can come. It doesn't always
Mhm.
have to be a drop, but to really trust that it is such a special thing that when you have big hopes and dreams and visions that is such a powerful thing that keeps you going no matter what, that many people choose not to hold hope around, that they give up so early and they don't think about this till they're retired and old and like, what have I done with my life? And you are here so open to even talking about this, which is why we're showing this contract to you, is that you can build this connection. These hopes and dreams are here at a time where you can make it a reality over the many years you have ahead of you. It is but a matter of time. It is but a matter of allowing. And it is this
Hmm.
practice of trusting and allowing and even trusting the little puddles that will become a huge ocean one day.
Hmm.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah, I feel like that, especially with my business lately. And even if you're just thinking about like happiness and joy as
Yeah,
a whole too, like we have to enjoy the small little pieces as well, not
totally.
just look for like the big joy. So,
That is true.
um,
Yeah, thank you
yeah.
for sharing that. I did not think about it that way, but that really lands for me too.
Hmm. Yeah. And I feel like I've been doing better at noticing the small things, and like the small little inspiration that I get for my business. So I think continuing to do that will be helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like it's like raindrops. Like it almost like
Hmm.
starts to come in so many different ways, and you get to just like you collect. I almost feel like, oh, I collected those drops, and I like it poured into me, and I got to receive.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it feels very important that this is here to really acknowledge that and not to um I guess keep getting the sense like life can feel hard and it feels hard to hold the energy of possibility around it
Hmm.
all. But to trust wherever it does show up that the possibility exists and it can come through.
Hmm. Yeah. Thank you. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's a contract language to be revised here. I think this was much more about
Hmm.
awareness for you and to really honor that.
Hmm.
Um, Yeah, and I'm even feeling like part of what work you do through your job is helping people with hopes and dreams, even though I know you talked about insurance auditing, which may not sound quite like that, but I just
Hmm.
had this feeling of, but there are clients and customers, and you're helping them with their goals, and that is part of their dreams too. And maybe they're also doing a job that funds something else, and you don't know their whole story.
Hmm.
But it is something to keep in mind that as you're helping others, you're helping them with their hopes and dreams, and it's building towards your hopes and dreams too.
Hmm.
And it's a full tapestry. Like it doesn't feel like it's isolated to one aspect of your life. It is so big and broad that I can't even describe. It feels like so all encompassing. That's the
Hmm.
vision and goal and dream. I think the encouragement I get is to keep journaling, to keep writing, to keep like doodling and daydreaming, like that's what will let this energy come through.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. And it feels like you'll have space for that, given all the other soul contract
Right.
updates you did too. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I know we covered a lot, and I realized the last one was very poetic and flowy, but do you feel complete
Hmm.
with that last contract?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So I think with that, then the way I'd love to close this out is close up the Akashic records, and then we can take a few minutes to debrief as well at the end. Actually, I do have to acknowledge that the scroll that we just talked about, it didn't roll itself up and like get tucked away in the way the
Hmm.
others did. It kind of like spread itself out and it's kind of laid out and open. It's kind of cool.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, like I feel like it's just providing access to you for that contract. Like now that you keep tapping in, you can keep exploring. That connection is here to stay. So
Hmm.
I feel like it's an acknowledgement of that. So yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome to close your eyes. We'll just say a short few lines to reground and close up the records. And you're welcome to thank all the energies, the ancestors, however you name them, for their presence and for their love, for your truest soul self, for guiding you. Any other parts of you that you want to acknowledge, maybe even past selves that did all the work and also was open to all the ease for you to receive today. We thank every aspect of you and everything else that showed up for you. And with that, I thank the magic of the space. I thank all the energies and beings that we channeled through at this time. I give gratitude to everything that came through. The records are now closed, the records are now closed, the records are now closed, and so it is with love and gratitude. Thank you. Taking a deep breath to settle back into the space. We traveled and covered so much here. And so take a moment to feel so much love and gratitude to yourself for being this open and for receiving. To acknowledge how you feel in this moment and to trust yourself that you will continue to take the learnings, take the understandings, and take the deep knowings from today into your life. And that you can always come back to any remembrances from today in your practical reality. Whenever you're ready, you're welcome to open your eyes and come back into our space together. Okay.
Oh,
That was
that was
great.
very nice.
I'm glad. That
Hmm.
was quite a journey. Thank you.
Hmm. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, I think all of the stuff that you said definitely resonated with me. So, and all were things that I kind of been thinking about and hoping for.
So I know we covered a lot. My recommendation
Hmm.
is to just let it all percolate and just settle a bit. You don't have to think about it all. Just let thoughts come through, just like the drops we talked about.
Hmm.
But know that I'll also make sure you have a transcript and other things for your personal reference too. And then I'll come back.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Julia.
All right.
Thank you for witnessing that session with me and Julia. Thank you so much to Julia for sharing and being open to receiving all of that. And I hope something in there landed for you between the money beliefs and the healing there, or um, perhaps this message around allowing your big dreams and hopes to arrive drop by drop, and eventually they can cascade into so much more. And know that you can also receive in this way. If you want to experience what Julia received in this session, then I would invite you to receive a one on one soul session where we can explore your Akashic records, the energy of your soul, soul's history, intentions, soul contracts, perhaps past lives, and energies that might be carrying through into situations or blocks or difficulties that are ready to be cleared and healed that might show up as pain and confusion. And the session can bring a lot of deep clarity. So you can book directly with me at my website, nikkijoshi.com, and I'll have links around here for you. And you can always go deeper through some of my guided rituals and meditations. I have a whole library of them. So feel free to choose the path that speaks most to you, and all designed to help you reconnect to who you truly are and receive from that space. May this continue to help unlock deeper remembrance within you. And thank you so much for receiving.